It's hard to kill. Should be the theme tune for Impact Wrestling. After going since 2002 when it started up as a small independent company, getting a TV deal, working with NWA, they've been through a lot of changes. Not just name changes from TNA to Impact Wrestling to Global Force Impact Wrestling to NWA Impact Wrestling, and now going by the name of just Impact. TNA is hard to kill. Over them years, it's been through a lot of transactions, from 6-sided rings to 4-sided rings, all the way back to 6-sided rings, to some of the craziest eras in TNA history, from the Dixieland era to the Eric Bishop and Hulk Hogan era, but they've survived it. These past 2 years, the Impacts have been going back to the home basics, where they've grown their home talent. Impact are responsible for some of the biggest stars in the world today, from AJ Styles to Samoa Joe, all the way up to Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, and many more. The X Division and the Knockouts is what put them on the map at the start, with some of the most memorable moments coming from them knockout divisions, with Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong and AJ Styles, and the rest of the X Division guys just putting off some amazing shows. Impact Wrestling at that time was called TNA, and they was making waves. There was meant to be a company to rival WWE, but things then went downhill, and over time a lot of them big names have left, a lot of money problems, and a lot of big changes took over. TNA at the time had a lot of doubters, a lot of haters, and every time they was meant to be out of business, and every time Dirt Sheet reported that, they got back up and fight it on and on and on. And look at where they are now. They've gone back to growing their home talent like they used to. So with that said, TNA are going to be taking all you fans back to the old good days on the 3rd of April with a one-off show called TNA No Place Like Home. So with that said, let's take a look at some of the wrestlers who are going to be there. Impact Wrestling has confirmed the following people for the list. So with that said, let's get on with our first one on the list, and that is Amazing Red. Amazing Red is 37 years old now, guys, but he is a 2-time X Division champion and 1-time NWA TNA Tag Team champion with Jerry Lynn. He made his first debut for TNA all the way back in 2002 when TNA first started, but he only spent 1 year there. After leaving TNA, he went over to All Japan Pro Wrestling, where he suffered one of the most serious injuries he's suffered in his career, and that was when he injured his knee. This injury was so bad, guys, it could have took him out forever, but it only took him 1 year to recover from this. After surgeries and doing rehab, this young lad kept his dream come true. In 2004, he went back to TNA, but he only stopped with TNA for about a year. And after that, he only started making one-off appearances after that. He ended up coming back into TNA in 2009, where his last match was in an Ultimate X match on a pay-per-view on the 4th of August 2011, where he lost. He spent 3 years with Impact, so from 2009 to 2012 he was with Impact. This young gentleman doesn't get as much credit as the AJ Styles, the Samoa Joes, but the fact is he did help build the X Division, and he was a big part of some of the biggest matches in TNA's history. This young gentleman could be ripping up with some of the youngest in there, like Trey and people like that on the new roster. Think about the dream matches you could have with them. Scott Steiner is 57 years old, and you can tell he's not in the best shape of his life. His best career is obviously behind him. He's a former WCW and WWE champion, and we first saw him way back in TNA in 2006 at Destination X when he was Jeff Jarrett's bodyguard. He spent the next 4 years with TNA until February the 4th, 2010, when he was removed from the website. He was also part of one of my favourite factions in TNA history, and that was the OG, the original Main Event Mafia. The Main Event Mafia was made up of former WCW stars and WWE stars, and that was Kurt Angle, Sting, Kevin Nash, Booker T, and also Scott Steiner. He's a two-time TNA Tag Team Champion with Booker T and Eli Drake. His last run back in TNA was in 2011-2012, but he has made one-off appearances and been at a lot of tapings since 2017 and 2019 was his last work for TNA as one-offs. Yes, his better years is way behind him, and the 57-year-old is still a big name in the world today, and it will bring a lot of fans to the pay-per-view. He's also wrestling still in 2020 for NWA YouTube channel called Power. So let's move on to the next one, guys, and that's going to be Mr. Kennedy. Sorry, Mr. Anderson. And DLo Brown, who's going to be representing Aces and Eights at this show. Mr. Anderson has some great matches in TNA, but when you look back at his career in TNA, one of the matches what stands out, or one of the series what stands out the most, is him versus Kurt Angle. That was some extraordinary matches he had. Back to Aces and Eights, guys. Aces and Eights was a motorcycle gang what went around beating everyone up, and the group debuted way back in 2012 on the 14th of June, and they ended on November the 21st, 2013. It also came out that Bully Ray was the leader of the group after months and months of fighting the group, and also there's a lot of other wrestling stars in there like Devon as well, just to name a few. DLo Brown joined the group on the 7th of March 2013 and was only there for 4 months. Later he was demoted after losing the I Quit match against Kurt Angle, and later that month he actually left TNA. Before DLo was demoted, he was actually the first president of the group, and on January the 3rd, Anderson joined the group before leaving after 8 months. He then turned face and went on to win the TNA Championship from Bully Ray at Turning Point. This match was absolutely amazing. He was fighting for his job, and it was his job versus title, where he ended up winning the title. After turning on the group, he turned face, and that's how it came to end. The group came to the end after that. Next on the list is Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin is the only 6th person to become a TNA Triple Crown winner in TNA history. He is a record-breaking 8-time TNA X Division champion, a 1-time TNA Tag Team champion with Motor City Machine Gun partner Alex Shelley, and a 1-time World Heavyweight champion. He was also part of the first ever Ultimate X match, what is way back in 2003. He is only 38 years old, and he could still go in the ring with some of the young guys for sure. Think about the matches you'll be able to get with TJ, Trey, or X Division champion Ace Austin's. These matches are absolutely amazing. Last time we saw Chris Sabin on TV was 6 years ago on January the 16th, 2014. So it'll be good to see if he's missed a step or if he can still go. After leaving TNA, he went on the independent scenes and worked for Ring of Honor and other promotions. Next on the list is another former X Division champion, that is PD Williams. He is a 2-time X Division champion, and the first time we saw this young gentleman was all the way back in 2004, where he debuted as part of Team Canada. He won his first X Division championship just 6 months after joining the promotion, and he won that in a Gauntlet for the Gold match against 22 other men. He ended up pinning Amazing Red at the end to win his first championship. He's never been a world champion or a tag team champion in the promotion, but he has become a 2-time X Division champion. He later left in 2009 after his contract was up, and there was arguments over renewing it, and Impact or TNA at the time did not want to renew his contract. In 2009 to 2014, he did spend his time with independent teams and worked for Ring of Honor and in Japan. He did make his return to Impact on January the 12th, where he had a retirement run in TNA at the time, and he ended up retiring in July the 3rd, 2014. He ended up coming back to TNA in 2017, where he's still working for them now in a backstage role, and he sometimes works on the TV shows as well and turns up on tapings. Last on the list, guys, who we're covering today is former TNA star Chris Harris. Chris Harris is now 47 years old and he is not in the best shape of his life. He's a former 7-time TNA Tag Team Champion, and he was part of one of the best teams in TNA history, and that was America's Most Wanted, with former World Champion James Storm and former Knockout Champion Gail Kim. He joined TNA on June the 1st, 2002, but let's hope that TNA can find a way of bringing in James Storm so they can bring back America's Most Wanted. Okay guys, that was our list, hope you like it. Yes, we've left a couple of other people off who have been announced for the show, but we're only looking at former TNA stars who have helped put TNA on the map in the past. Thank you for watching, guys. If it is something you're interested in, let me know in the comments down below if you would like another video, and we're going to try and cover as many lists as we can. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell, also share this with your friends on Facebook and social media. And I promise you, I'll see you in the next video. And enjoy the pay-per-view. And also guys, let me know in the comments what you think our next list should be. With that said, I shall see you soon. Bye 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 bye.